On today's show, we head over to Germany and return to the Berlin Templehof airport for the final round of the 2019-20 FIA Formula E Championship. It's race 6 of the Berlin E-Prix, where it's all or nothing in the final race of the season. Then we wind back to February of this year and head to Sydney Motorsport Park's Amaru South Circuit as we look back on the hotly contested opening round of this year's High-Tech Drift All-Star Series. This is Speedweek.
Takes the first win in Berlin, and Da Costa wins again. And we go Berlin Templehof. Oh, they're side by side. Costa wins. Let's go! Oliver Rowland takes his first win. Come on! John-Eric Verne wins in Berlin. Antonio Felix Da Costa, the champion of Formula E.
Welcome to the final race in what has been an electrifying ABB FIA Formula E season. 6 races in 9 days on 3 different track layouts, and we've already seen Antonio Felix Da Costa and DS Techeetah do the double here in Germany, taking both the Drivers' and Teams' Championship. Before we go green for round 11, here's a reminder of the action so far.
Round 6, and after 5 months away, Formula E's return to racing wasn't short on drama.
Oh, Robin Price is in the wall.
While Jean-Eric Verne grew frustrated at his teammate,
I mean, it's clearly over-consuming and not following the beat. It's a joke.
Antonio Felix Da Costa came away with a maximum 30 points.
He's into his last percentage of usable energy. He hits 0, and Da Costa takes the first win in Berlin.
The very next day, the second in our 6-race finale, and no one had an answer to Da Costa's pace. Pole position and the race win gave him a commanding lead in the championship.
Looking forward to watch it on TV. Thanks, guys.
But he didn't have it all his own way. Round 8 saw a dust-up between Robin Freins and Max Günther for the win.
Freins to the outside. It might be the closest finish in Formula E history. Across the line, Günther wins. Let's go!
With the BMW I Andretti driver taking the spoils. Seconds out, and round 9 saw DS Techeetah lock out the front row of the grid within touching distance of 2 championships. Jean-Eric Verne took the race win to help seal the team's championship, while second place Da Costa took a maiden driver's title with 2 rounds remaining.
Antonio Felix Da Costa, the champion of Formula E.
4 of the top championship contenders started from the back of the grid for round 10, and the sparks were flying.
Da Costa and De Grassi come together.
I have a puncture.
At the sharp end, Audi's new boy René Rast took a momentous 3rd position after a last lap scrap with Andre Lotterer.
They're still side by side. There's more back to the wall here, and he's up into 3rd place.
But it was Oliver Rowland who came out on top with his first Formula E win ahead of Robin Freins. That light-to-flag victory saw Rowland move into 2nd place in the Drivers' Championship, behind the newly crowned Antonio Felix Da Costa. In the team standings, Nissan Edams moved to 2nd, behind champions DS Techeetah, while BMW I Andretti dropped to 3rd.
It's another blast around the new extended track layout for our final race of the season at Berlin's Tempelhof Airport. 16 turns and 2.5 kilometres on the menu, and serving up your action is commentary team Jack Nichols and Nelson Piquet Jr.
This is the grid ahead of the 11th round of the championship season. At the back of the grid, we've got most of the front runners in the championship. The top 6 in the last 6 positions on the grid. They're going to be trying to carve their way through the order. If they want to get points, they've got to get up into the top 10. And in that 10th place at the moment is Lucas de Grassi. The Season 3 champion is lining up in 10th spot for the Audi team. Then he is going to be behind the very impressive Sergio Sette Camara. He's only in his 6th race for the Geox Dragon team, and he's qualified inside the top 10. He is going to be following the Porsche of Neil Gianni. It's been a troubled season for Gianni. He got his first points finish yesterday. Looks set for another one today, starting in 8th spot. Alex Lynn being brought into the Mahindra team to replace Pascal Wehrlein and has out-qualified his teammate Jerome D'Ambrosio over the course of the races here. Eduardo Mortara for the Rocket Venturi team made it through to Superpole and starts in 6th position. A good average qualifying in Berlin for Robin Freitz. He was finished 2nd yesterday on the podium. Is that going to be a little bit tougher today with some strong drivers in front? Nick de Vries and the Mercedes-Benz EQ team are 4th. They're fighting for 2nd in the Teams Championship. And then we've got René Rast in 3rd for the Audi team. A very impressive performance from him to have his best qualifying, having qualified 4th yesterday. Sebastian Buemi lines up on the front row. His teammate Oliver Rowland won the 10th round of the championship. And Stoffel Vandoorne takes the first pole position for the Mercedes-Benz EQ Formula E team. For the last time, we go green in Berlin. Pretty even start up at the front, down towards turn 1, and immediately Buemi covers the inside. Rast tries to send it to the outside of turn 1. That's going to be a bold move from the German, just runs out of grip a little bit, and I think Buemi's going to hold the place. And Eduardo Mortara with a very feisty move on Robin Freitz. He's got up into 5th position. Nicely done around the outside of the first corner, but it's Vandoorne, Buemi, Rast, then a few lockups coming into 4. There's a bit of contact, but everybody just about gets through. Turvey was on the inside, going side by side with Gunter, as he did a few races ago. Oliver Rowland still at the back of the field. D'Ambrosio's got him into 15th place. There's some aggressive defensive work from Sergio Sette Camara. Sims almost going into the back of the Jaguar, but he just manages to get up and alongside Mitch Evans. Now they come into the chicane at 8 and 9. The two Diesta Cheetahs are side by side. On board here with Da Costa. Verne goes to the outside of him through the left-hander of 10 and gets the move made. Vandoorne leading, Buemi 2nd, Rast 3rd, de Vries 4th. And the biggest gainer of the drivers lower down in the championship, I think, is Jean-Eric Verne. He's got ahead of his teammate. He's up into 18th position. But, crucially, Stoffel Vandoorne holds the lead at the end of lap 1, Nelson.
Yeah, Rast just got passed by de Vries.
I think de Vries got him into the final corner at 16.
Yeah, and no, at least we had a clean start. We had no pieces flying into turn 4 this time. So let's get everybody settled now and start seeing who's going to move up.
Oliver Turvey defending from Max Gunter behind. As I say, de Vries got past René Rast up into 3rd place. Vandoorne still leading, the Belgian, ahead of the Swiss Sebastian Buemi there in 2nd. Then it's de Vries, then it's that man René Rast in 4th position. Behind them is Eduardo Mortara, who made that move on Robin Freitz at the opening lap over into turn 1. And now they come down the back straight. Attack mode, remember, on the exit of this corner. It's not open yet for activation, but it will be soon. And Buemi is under a bit of pressure here from Nick de Vries. I asked Stoffel Vandoorne before the race started, did he think he had a chance of taking this win? Because the Nissans have looked strong, but he pointed out the other night where de Vries was able to stay with the Nissans and in fact pass Oliver Rowland to finish in 4th position. So the Mercedes feeling fairly confident. There's usable energy remaining on the left-hand side. They're all similar at the moment on 94%, but now we'll start to settle into the saving as Lucas de Grassi makes a move on the Porsche of Neil Gianni. So Gianni's been passed by Sette Camara. Sette Camara's up into 8th place, Gianni down into 9th, de Grassi into 10th position, but Vandoorne's lead 1.6 seconds at the line. That's very impressive.
Yeah, it is. I had a feeling that, you know, maybe Stoffel was trying to use a bit more energy in the beginning to try to open a gap, but it seemed like they were pretty equal. I mean, it's hard to say when you see a percentage number over there, you know, how much energy they're using exactly, but you know, I think Buemi, you know, he's not going to push too hard. I mean, he knows that to win a race he needs to save it to the end, so he's probably taking it a bit easy at the moment, just making sure de Vries is going to stay behind him. But yeah, all under control.
Yeah, absolutely. Vandoorne out in front then. Buemi 2nd, de Vries 3rd. Sam Bird is running there in 12th position, just behind Alexander Sims, who made up 3 places. He and Jean-Eric Verne made up the most positions. Now, going into turn 1, René Rast tried to go to the outside of Buemi, but the driver who did pull it off was Eduardo. Very slow start there for Daniel Ack, but that looked a bit intentional, actually.
Yeah.
But look at Mortara in the white and red Venturi. Goes to the outside of the purple Envision car and gets all the way around the outside at turn 1.
It's always a tough decision whether you stay on the inside or the outside, because there's not a right answer which one you go. I mean, sometimes you get lucky in the inside, sometimes it's in the outside. I mean, René Rast, if he had a little bit more grip over there on the outside, he would have been able to stay on the inside of Buemi to the right-hander over there.
Meanwhile, Mortara is now having to defend a little bit from Robin Freins for 5th position. Attack mode activation is now open. Sergio Sette Camara has the fastest lap of the race. Buemi's lead, which Van Dorn's lead, which grew quite strongly up to a 2.5 seconds, is now back down to 1 second. On the last lap, Buemi took 0.4 of a second out of the Belgian up at the front. But after Mortara got past Freins at the start, Freins is pretty close to the back of him now as they stream through the middle sector and through the right-hander of turn 15, then up to the final corner at turn 16. The two DS Techeetahs still running line astern in 18th and 19th places. Yesterday, Buemi managed to come from the back of the grid to finish in 10th place with 40 minutes plus a lap to go. And there's a look from Freins. He's not quite close enough to make the move, but he looks like he wants to get past Mortara.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how much energy Sette Camara is spending. Well, I can see now. Yeah, I mean, he seems to be good. I mean, let's see what happens now. I hope he keeps a strong pace, because he seems like he's just getting better and better throughout these races. Percentages-wise, everybody seems to be very similar still. I think we're going to start seeing a difference after 50%. We can start to notice a difference between who's spending more.
There goes Sam Bird then, past Alexander Sims, up into 12th position in his final race for the Envision Virgin Racing team, before moving to Jaguar, where Tom Blomqvist is at the moment, behind Sims. Turvey's dropped down to 17th position now. Nick de Vries is right up behind Buemi. Here's Bird's radio.
Good man. Eyes forward. Let's go. That's Massa ahead.
There we go. Eyes forward. We had to hear it one last time, didn't we? Stephen Lane, the race engineer for Sam Bird, with his trademark catchphrase. And Bird up into 12th position. He sounds pretty pumped there, doesn't he? And his next target is Felipe Massa in 11th place. René Rast does the fastest lap of the race. He closes into within a second of Nick de Vries as they stream across the line. We're on board here with Da Costa. He and Jean-Eric Verne in 18th and 19th places. It's just going to be so tough for these drivers to make it up from that far down. As I say, Buemi, the highest he could get yesterday was 10th position. Here comes de Vries, up behind Buemi, not quite close enough. Any of them using attack mode yet? I think Rast maybe was going for it. No,
I think they need to open a bit of a gap. You're going to get too much traffic if you get the attack mode right now. I think whoever gets the first gap of about 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds, I think they will use it.
37.5 minutes to go. Stoffel Van Dorn leading the way in the black Mercedes. Second is Buemi in the black and red Nissan. There goes Freins, lunges it on Eduardo Mortara, coming down into 15. And the Dutchman makes the move, so that's 5th place now for the purple Envision Virgin Racing car. Mortara in the Venturi tries to fight back. That's allowing Alex Lynn to come into the mix in the red and white Mahindra, who we go on board with now. Coming down towards turn 1, and we'll see when he lifts. There, he lifts there. That's when it goes silent and then starts regenerating and braking. Dilbag Gill watching the action from his hotel. Hashtag Berlin E-Prix. If you want to get in touch and join the conversation about this final race of the season. And Lynn trying to push, trying to get past Eduardo Mortara, but not able to yet. Mortara looking for a strong finish to his season, because he started with some...
How's my energy in comparison to him?
Last time around we had 1% more than him, 1% more than him.
So Lynn being told he's got more energy than Eduardo Mortara. Mortara's best result this season, a 4th place in Diriyah. The first 5 races, Mortara scored points in 4 of them, so things were looking pretty good, but just struggled a little bit in the early rounds in Berlin. 36 minutes plus a lap to go. De Vries used attack mode then, so he is going to be in attack mode for the longer for the next couple of minutes. There you see the Mercedes superfan Myrte van Vliet watching the action down there. And Nick de Vries through attack mode. Then he's got 4 minutes to use his extra power, and he'll want to get past Rast as quickly as possible. Might not quite be close enough on the run down into turn 1. No, he's not. So Rast holds the position, and I wonder whether that will free up. I won't quite free up Buemi to use his attack mode this time around. We'll wait and see.
Well, I won't, but it's always good to have a bit of a space behind you because you're less worried about the car behind you. You're being a little bit more efficient, not having to peek all the time in your mirror. You're able to concentrate a little bit more. So it's good for Buemi to be in this position with a little bit of a gap behind him.
De Vries goes to the inside and goes ahead, and through goes the race leader Stoffel van Dorn. Stoffel van Dorn in the Mercedes then activates attack mode and relinquishes the lead of the race to Sebastian Buemi. They've got to take 2 attack modes over the course of the race. They'll go from 200 kilowatts of power to 235 kilowatts of power for the 4-minute period. And you see the chevrons there up in the top left. 4 of those, a minute each. So De Vries has 3 minutes left, Van Dorn has 4 minutes left.
Now the problem I see now is Stoffel, he activated 1 lap after, so obviously he's going to have an extra lap of this extra energy. But I wonder if in that extra lap he's going to get past De Vries, because he's basically going to have just 1 lap to pass him. If De Vries keeps pushing, look, he's already going for the lead.
So Van Dorn to the inside of Buemi.
No, De Vries.
I think it's Van Dorn, yeah. So he just managed to stay in front.
Oh,
after,
he did. Sorry, I got confused.
Activating the attack mode. So that'll be a relief for Mercedes that Van Dorn hits the front again. But now De Vries. I mean, this is looking like this could be a 1-2 here for Mercedes, the way things are shaping up at the moment, because when Buemi activates his attack mode, De Vries will move up into 2nd place, and that will be a huge boost to Mercedes in the Teams Championship. Buemi will move up into 2nd place, although level on points with Stoffel van Dorn, but we'll have to wait and see what happens over the remainder of the race. And just about Buemi emerging in front of René Rast. So the top 3, Van Dorn, Buemi and De Vries, the first 3 to take attack mode. And now that he's used attack mode, Buemi, Van Dorn is back up into that 2nd place in the standings. So that on the bottom right is going to change a lot as the race progresses. Buemi is 1.7 seconds back from De Vries. Lynn looked pretty close to the back of Mortara as they came across the line into turn 1, but just sitting in behind the Venturi at the moment. Seze Camara, De Grassi and Gianni, the rest of the top 10. Everybody else in this big queue behind. Here's a replay of Stoffel van Dorn making the move on Sebastian Buemi. He had the extra power and was able to make it stick down into turn 1, and he's now 0.6 of a second ahead of his teammate Nick de Vries, although they're fairly close, aren't they? And de Vries is going to run out of energy power now, I should say. Oh, Mortara defending from Alex Lynn coming into turn 7, holds the place for the time being. It must be so frustrating to know whether to attack or not to attack, or you want to defend your position, but you can't afford the energy.
Yeah, you have to be very careful. You have to know when it's worth defending. You know, if it's a car that you know has more pace than you, you're going to start defending and you're going to lose so many positions because it's just going to drag you back and back. So sometimes you have to make a calculation, educated guess, that the guy behind you has more pace, he has more efficiency, and just go. Let him go by, because otherwise you're going to just lose your whole race if you keep worrying about one place sometimes.
Yeah. Season 1 champion Nelson Piquet Jr. with me in the commentary box for these last 2 races in Berlin. Van Dorn still in attack mode now. Buemi was a second quicker than Nick de Vries on that last lap. There is Turvey and Roland still going around in 21st and 22nd position, so Roland hasn't made much progress at all, actually. Everybody else is breaking away.
Yeah, Seb has to pass him. Oh, he's not close enough. I was going to say pass him in the back straight.
He's got 2 minutes remaining, Buemi, so he will still have another chance on the back straight next lap, but also he might get one on the start-finish straight too, and then we'll see how hard Nick de Vries defends. Robin Freitz is still on the back of René Rast, the 2 Audi powertrain cars fighting each other. Rast and Freitz, both 2 Audi drivers in the German Touring Car Championship, the DTM, and were racing a couple of weeks ago at Spa. So
They know each other very well. This is De Vries's radio.
Okay, you guys are doing a good job saving. Buemi now is the same as us, same energy as us.
So De Vries being told that you've done a good job saving, and Buemi now has the same energy as us, but surely Buemi's going to go past him on the run down into the first corner.
De Grassi having a more efficient car around the guys around him. He's saving quite a bit of energy, not fighting much, and I'm guessing in about 5 to 10 minutes he's going to start attacking when he accumulates a bit more. You see, he's one of the only ones who's 68 at the moment over there behind Seti Camara, but he prefers not to fight. He's going to save a lot of energy, as much as he can. When the team tells Seti Camara, okay, you need to start saving now, that's when he's going to go and attack.
There's the Mercedes-Benz team who've just seen Buemi get back ahead of Nick De Vries just in the nick of time before he runs out of the extra power with 10 seconds to go. So it's still the only the front three in the whole field that have used one of their attack modes, and no one else going for it this time either. 30 minutes plus 1 lap to go. Oh, lunge. That's Jean-Eric Verne going past Tom Blomqvist into 15th position. Mitch Evans activated his first attack mode, but Verne now up into 15th place. His next target is Alexander Sims, who's at the back of the queue, that's kind of behind Mortara. Everyone behind Mortara is less than half a second away from each other. So there's the top three: Van Dorn, Buemi, De Vries. Then the gap back to Rast and Freins. Then the gap back to Mortara, Lin, Sete Camara, De Grassi, Gianni, Massa, Bird, Gunter. As they come down into turn 1 again, half an hour plus a lap to go. And Van Dorn's lead 0.7 of a second over Buemi. This is going to run this little battle all the way to the end of this E-Prix. De Grassi fancies it on Sete Camara to the inside and cruises through up the inside into turn 1. Thought Sete Camara was going to give him a little nudge there halfway around the corner, but De Grassi now up into 8th position. Down into turn 4. Through the left-hander and out onto the back straight. There's our top three who are breaking away, really, aren't they? From and here comes Rast into attack mode. Looked a little deep, but he got it stopped in time, and he slots in behind Freins. So that's not a bad use there from René Rast. He's got a nice bit of clear air to rejoin it.
Exactly. No, he did a good job. Let's see. I mean, both Audi powertrains together fighting for it, so it's going to be interesting. I was expecting a bit more pace of René Rast, to be honest, and I'm very surprised with the Mercedes, to be honest. I thought Seb was gonna kind of dominate this one, starting from the front, but it seems like he has some harsh competition. And both of the cars, they're gonna help each other for sure. Both Mercedes, they're gonna not play games, but they're gonna find a way to make sure they help one of them win or try to finish even 1 and 2.
Well, they, at the moment, are 5th in the championship coming into this race, but...
It'd be amazing for them.
Exactly. The live points that we just saw has them going up to 3rd, and there goes Freins on Bird on Massa. So Sam Bird up the inside of Felipe Massa, and that moves him up into 11th position. So, yeah, as it stands, Mercedes would move up into 3rd in the championship. Virgin would remain in 4th, but BMW would drop from 3rd down to 5th place. On board here with Sam Bird. Having made that pass, he's now up into 11th place, and Neil Gianni is his next target. Now, Nick De Vries using attack mode. He's pretty... Before half distance now, De Vries has used both of his attack modes, which is interesting. Not wanting to keep back, and that's Sims fighting with Verne, holding the place for the moment. In 14th place, Alexander Sims. He's been passed now by his teammate Max Gunter, and Verne trying to make his way up the order. So, Bird in 11th place, Gunter's 13th. He's the highest, he was the highest qualifier of the drivers in Group 1, and he's still the highest in the race in 13th position. But as it stands, Stoffel Van Dorn would go 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. Robin Freins is going to be passed here, I would have thought, by René Rast, who is... and this is where I think it gets interesting. Here comes Freins, first of all, covering the inside, Rast to the outside, and gets the job done around the outside. But if we get some kind of full course yellow or safety car, I feel like De Vries might be in a bit of trouble here, because he's used both of his attack modes, and most of the rest of the field haven't used any. This is the replay of Bird's pass. There are the Envision Virgin superfans watching the overtake happen.
It was a very, very efficient pass, because he lifted coast, and then he decided to go deep into the corner, and That was a good pass, very decisive, and saving energy at the same time.
Van Dorn has used his attack mode as well. So Stoffel Van Dorn has dropped behind Buemi again and has used his attack mode. So he, De Vries and Rast are all in attack mode at the moment. There's Buemi in the lead, then Van Dorn, then De Vries, then Rast, then Freitz, then Mortara, then De Grassi, then Lin. So De Grassi's got past Lin when Lin used his attack mode a couple of moments ago. 25.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go in the final round of the ABB Formula E Championship. And how hard will Buemi try and fight now? I don't think he's going to have much choice.
It's his chance. If he manages, I know it's going to be very hard, but if he manages to keep Stoffel behind him, it's a very, very good chance to win this race. I mean,
here are the fan boost announcements. De Vries gets it, Abt gets it, so does Da Costa, so does Lucas De Grassi, and so does Stoffel Van Dorn, the race leader. That's a replay of Van Dorn taking attack mode. So both Mercedes have fan boosts as well, so that's going to help them out in this fight. Who's going to emerge in front? It is Buemi. How hard is the Nissan going to fight? Not really.
No.
Looked like he was covering the inside a little. Oh, and he takes attack mode. That's why then. So Buemi uses his second attack mode, comes out behind René Rast. Interesting decision.
It's I don't know if I agree with that one.
It feels like just taking attack mode now, he'll just end up where he was before.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know why he didn't take a gamble and try to hold his position a little bit. I mean, maybe he would have been less efficient doing that, but still, I mean, it's trying to keeping those cars behind him.
Tommaso Volpe, the Nissan Global Motorsports Director, watching the action on the left-hand side there. Hello. Good to have you with us, Tommaso. 24 minutes plus a lap to go. Here comes Buemi then. He's got to dispatch of René Rast first of all. Rast still has one attack mode remaining. Buemi to the inside, and that's a straightforward move, but
they seem to be very, very polite with each other.
Yeah.
There's not much blocking going on.
Van Dorn leading the way. De Vries in second, Buemi third, Rast then in fourth position. The two Mercedes out in front. De Vries is about to drop out of attack mode now as they come through the left-hander this time. Van Dorn has still got another 2 laps of it, essentially. Then Rast in fourth, Freitz in fifth. There, De Grassi, Lin, and Mortara, Sete Camara and Bird, the rest of the top 10. And Bird, oh, that's a tight one from Verne. He finally forces his way past Alexander Sims. Those two went side by side through 8th and 9th a couple of laps ago. Verne did all he could to try and... Sims did all he could to try and keep the door closed, but he manages to get in front. We're on board with
Da Costa,
who is right behind. Is he going to try and take advantage? He is, but Sims covers the inside line. There come the top 2. Mercedes looking pretty strong at the moment. It's going to be tough for Buemi to match Van Dorn, and maybe even to get past De Vries if De Vries really fights. What have we got here then? Sims, Da Costa, Evans and D'Ambrosio. D'Ambrosio and Da Costa are in attack mode. So Da Costa cruises to the inside of Sims, D'Ambrosio to the inside of Evans, and Evans tries to hang it on round the outside.
He's going to keep it. Ooh, no.
Very close there.
Just got the dirt on the outside and got understeer.
We also saw, along with Tommaso Volpe, it was Olivier Drio, the Nissan Edam's co-team principal, that was in the box as well. And he's watching with his brother Gregory, who's not on camera. 22 minutes plus a lap to go. Van Dorn, De Vries, Buemi. Now, this might be where Buemi's race gets decided.
This is crucial. I mean, this is where Mercedes this is where they could help each other. If De Vries gets really protective and doesn't let Buemi by, then it's pretty much, I would say, perhaps not a done deal for Stoffel, but it's going to make his life much, much easier. So let's see how much De Vries is going to defend.
Well, he's got a fan boost, hasn't he, Nick De Vries, so that might help him. We just saw a bit of contact with Verne and Sims, so just before, there's the replay on board with it in the bottom right. He just nudges the back. Sims has it pretty much closed the door, and then there, Verne lifts him up and nudges him out the way. There goes Buemi up the inside of De Vries in the main picture. So Buemi gets up into second position. 30 seconds left in attack mode, so it's going to settle down into Van Dorn, Buemi, De Vries, the top 3. What did you make of that incident with Vern on Sims?
That's a tough one. I mean, when we're coasting and using the region at the end of these straights, you never know when the car in front of you is going to save energy. Maybe he's going to coast earlier, but it's not like in a typical race, if you do a brake test, for example, before the braking area, I mean, there's no reason for you to lift before. But in these cars, you know, if I decide to lift 100 meters earlier to save energy, I can do it, but the guy behind you is not going to know.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing that happened when I had my crash was Jev in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
He lifted way early just to save a lot of energy. I didn't expect it. I was attacking, and all of a sudden, you know, I ran over him.
Yeah.
So,
Buemi, as it stands, if it finishes like this, is up to second in the Drivers' Championship. So actually, it's quite important for De Vries to finish ahead of Buemi, because that would give Van Dorn second in the standings. The Mercedes team, a 1-3 or a 1-2 is kind of irrelevant for their team's hopes, but De Vries will want to get through into second place. The Vern Sims incident is under investigation for causing a collision. Here comes De Grassi on Robin Freins to the outside on the run down into turn 1. Oh, De Grassi does his squeeze, and Freins holds the position.
Freins is not going to make it easy for him.
That was not dissimilar to the action yesterday when De Grassi tried to pass Da Costa in that same manner. De Grassi did the same thing and got a time penalty, so I'm a bit surprised to see him doing the same thing again, considering the penalty he got yesterday and considering the race before that.
But I think in this situation he was a little bit more ahead than yesterday was Da Costa. You know, he had nearly cleared him, so he gave it a try. So, you know, I think in this situation fine, but Frins just try to defend pretty hardly.
On board with De Grassi. And he's out of attack mode now. So that was it. He's still got one more attack mode to go, but that was his sort of one shot on this attack mode.
I think that's another reason why. I think if he had a much longer period, Frins wouldn't have held him that much, you know, because it was near at the end. You know, the team must have told Frins, look, this is the last couple of seconds. Try to hold him as much as you can.
Nick De Vries right up behind Sebastian Buemi for second place. There is Freins and De Grassi in 5th and 6th positions on the brakes down into turn 1. 12 minutes plus 1 lap to go. There's Gunter now up into 9th place ahead of Eduardo Mortara. Jean-Eric Verne is just 1 place away from taking the points. So a reminder, if it finishes like this, Van Dorn and Buemi are tied on points in second place. If De Vries gets ahead, De Vries is going for it now on attack mode down into turn 7, lunges it, chucks it into the left-hander, gets all out of shape. Buemi turns in and somehow they don't touch. Buemi holds on to second place. That was a big lunge from De Vries. Stays in 3rd position, but if it stays like this, Verne needs to get up to 6th in order to take second place in the Drivers' Championship, which is what DS Techeetah want, because they want 1-2 in the standings. 11 minutes plus a lap to go, and De Vries couldn't quite get it done, but he has got more energy. That has allowed René Rast to close in on them just a little bit as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think we're going to see a lot of overtaking maneuvers in the last 2 to 3 minutes.
Yeah.
That's usually when people start to saving a lot of energy, others start spending a lot of energy. So I think let's give it another 5 minutes, and then we're going to see everything's going to play out pretty quickly towards the end of the race.
Here we go again with De Vries and Buemi. He's got more usable energy, so he can afford to not lift as early as Sebastian Buemi. Is Buemi going to defend it this time? Jean-Eric Verne's been given a black and white warning flag for an incident at turn 7, which that was the nudge on. Oh, and there's Oliver Rowland's front of wheel cover, but I think that warning flag was for the contact with Sims. That seems about right.
Yeah, it's fine.
So is that going to cause a full... Wow, it's pretty close to the racing line, isn't it? Coming out of turn 12. Oh, and he nearly hits it there. I wonder if we're going to get a full course yellow or a safety car.
I'm sure that Lucas must be screaming on the radio right now. We need a safety car. We need a safety car.
Into the pits comes Roland. 9.5 minutes plus a lap to go. De Grassi and Bird have one attack mode remaining. Lynn, Gunther, Verne, the rest of the top 10. What's Nick de Vries going to do this time? Down into turn 1. Looks a little too far back again for the move on Buemi. Evans has got up into 14th place. De Grassi's just been told not to use attack mode, which presumably is because the team think there might be a safety car deployed pretty soon, and Roland is out of the...
The team must be trying, obviously, hardly to get this. It's their chance.
Muller uses his second attack mode. Not only for de Grassi, but I guess also for Rast as well, to just close that gap a little bit. 9 minutes plus a lap to go. Anybody using attack mode this time around? No, that is Lynn defending from Gunther for 8th position. Trying to keep ahead of the German and then the Frenchman Jean-Eric Verne in behind. It's Van Dorn bossing this race at the moment. Into attack mode goes Sergio Sette Camara, comes out just in front of Jerome D'Ambrosio. And Mortara's just got ahead of Da Costa. Sims has just got ahead of... Oh, I think Da Costa just activated his attack mode, that's why.
You see, Sette Camara was doing a great beginning of the race, but he was spending too much energy.
Yeah.
And the result is, you know, you end up having to... It pays off later on. I mean, pays off. It's going to cost you later on. And he still has less energy than a lot of guys around him.
It's a year-old powertrain in the back of that Geox Dragon, so they do tend to struggle during the races. Nico Muller's got loads of energy, but I guess he did start from
De Vries is the one that has the best number up there. Lucas doesn't have the advantage he had before. De Vries is an amazing position. I mean, it's going to make it very, very tough for Buemi.
7.5 minutes plus 1 lap to go. On board with Jean-Eric Verne. There's Buemi and De Vries right together. All of the top 5 have used their 2 attack mode activations, and Bird goes for it now. So Bird's having a great race. He's right on the back of de Grassi there, and he started well outside in 14th position. This is a classic Sam Bird race, I think, to end the season on and to end his career with Virgin on, just battling his way up through the order. So many drivers in the field say Sam Bird is the guy that if you see him in the mirrors behind, you're like, oh, I'm in a bit of trouble here.
Virgin are going to score pretty good points because it's going to be good. They're going to pass Andretti for sure because both of them are in good scoring points.
Only De Grassi ahead has not used his second attack. Everyone in front has used it. All cars behind used it.
Stephen Lane giving Bird the information. He comes down into turn 1 again, ahead of Lynn, Gunther and Verne. Then this gap back to Eduardo Mortara, who's dropped out of the points with Da Costa in behind. Sims, I feel like he's spent the whole day defending, and he's now defending from Felipe Massa. A little bit of a bang on the apex, and Sims holds the position for a 14th place at the moment. 6 minutes plus a lap to go. Buemi just half covering the inside into 7. I'm surprised they've left that wheel arch there, but
it's fine. Racing.
De Grassi uses his second attack mode. Does Bird get past him? I don't think he does.
I think he did, because he's going to have a much quicker first lap.
Yeah.
So I think let's see what happens. Oh, he did.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. It's just changed. So Bird uses the kind of the undercut of the attack mode to get ahead of Lucas de Grassi and up into 6th position. But now it's going to be a question of whether he can hold him off for a lap in the Envision Virgin Racing car.
Ooh, I'm sure he will.
6th position, and 5th and 6th for the Envision Virgin cars at the moment, but not as good as 1st and 3rd for the Mercedes. 5.5 minutes plus a lap to go. Bird, of course, also being informed that de Grassi has fan boost too, so that's an extra mode of attack that de Grassi can use. 5 minutes plus 1 lap left. Da Costa gets past Mortara and up into 11th place. There is Freitz, and I wonder if Freitz will move out the way for Bird now that Bird is on full power, just for the next couple of minutes.
Perhaps.
Here they come in 5th and 6th positions, I think they are here.
Yeah.
Bird to the inside, and that was neat and tidy stuff, and that gives France the opportunity to fight Degrassi a little bit and just delay Bird a little bit.
Yeah.
So some good, smart racing.
Teamwork, yeah.
Pace is good, mate. Eyes forward, let's go.
Eyes forward, let's go. There's race leader Stoffel van Dorn. Buemi, De Vries, Rast, the top 4. Then the gap back to Bird. 14th to 5th is pretty good drive, this, from Bird. But look how much energy De Vries, he's got to spend it at some point, hasn't he? He's got it in the bank.
He's waiting for the right opportunity, I think. They can't wait too long.
Four minutes plus a lap to go.
I want the camera to show Friends and Lucas. It's going to be sure they're going to get a bit feisty.
Yeah, they're 0.2 of a second apart. They've already banged wheels once, so keep your eyes peeled for that battle for 6th position. There goes 1, 2, and 3. As it stands, Buemi would go up into 2nd in the championship, ahead of Van Dorn, as they come down the start-finish straight. But I feel like those standings aren't correct, because Van Dorn will have won a race.
Oh, there.
Lucas, you still have fan boost?
Ooh, we got him.
Buemi, Degrassi gets the dummy, and that was very nicely done. And there's the hip and shoulder on the exit, just to make the point, I think. And Degrassi outwits France there, coming down into turn 7. France thought he'd had it covered. Nice move, that, from Lucas. Here they come down the back straight. And France saying that his steering wheel is bent with 3 minutes plus a lap to go. Now, here comes Buemi. As it stands, I think as it stands, Van Dorn would get 2nd in the championship because they've tied on points. So on countback, Van Dorn would have a win and Buemi does not. But it will all become irrelevant and a moot point if De Vries gets past Buemi. That will fully confirm that 2nd place. Here we go then, on board with Degrassi. Oh, he sold him the dummy well there. Oh, France tried to defend, still left the room. And then Degrassi.
Oh, he had a big, quite a bit of an impact on the rear tire of Lucas hit the front of Friends. That's why he got his bend. When he went on throttle, that's when he touched.
And there's De Vries up the inside of Buemi. 2nd place now for the Mercedes. A Mercedes 1-2 in Formula E. De Vries up into 2nd position, Buemi down to 3rd, and Rene Rast is coming into this fight a little bit. He's right behind Buemi. We saw Rast with some aggressive overtakes yesterday. How he'd love another podium position. Coming down into 15, is this an opportunity? Buemi covers the inside. Rast in the end a little bit too far back, but what a great performance this is from the Mercedes team. What a way to end their season. That confirms that Van Dorn would finish 2nd in the Drivers' Championship. Buemi would finish 3rd unless Verne can make up more places. He's right behind Gunther, who's right behind France. So that's going to be an interesting fight as well.
Oh, Verne goes by.
Yeah. So, and France down to 12th position, so something happened there, surely, to Robin Freins, because he's dropped well out of the running. That's going to harm Envision Virgin Racing in the Teams Championship. But suddenly, Robin Freins has gone from 7th all the way down to 12th. Let's see what happened. This was the move from De Vries. Came from a long way back. Wow. Good move.
Nice move. Nice move.
So, race leader, Stoffel van Dorn. 2nd, Nick De Vries. 3rd and 4th is Buemi and Rene Rast. Then Sam Bird in 5th, Degrassi 6th, Verne 7th, Lynn 8th, De Costa is in 9th position, Mortara is 10th. France is in big trouble here. France is done. Everyone's going past him. He might be out of the race.
But let me tell you something. I think De Vries is going to catch up to Van Dorn. I have a feeling that he's gonna get pretty close, because he has quite a bit more energy.
Yeah. France has got a puncture. Robin France has got a puncture. Here's a replay. Gunther to the outside. They have a bit of a wheel bang.
Ooh. That was done. That was, well, poor Gunther. He lost a lot of places there.
Yeah.
What happened over there?
They seemed to kind of get interlocked or something, didn't they? It's a bit strange.
Yeah.
So Frantz dropping all the way back in the order. Here's a look at it on board with Jean-Eric Verne.
Yeah, that's when Jeff got a bit lucky over there.
It was weird. Robin just kind of went straight on once he got to the apex. So, we're on the penultimate lap of the race. Stoffel Vandoorne leading, and that'll secure him second in the championship unless Verne can get ahead of de Grassi, but they're 2 seconds apart. We think they crossed the line with about 7 seconds left on the clock, so it's going to be a little bit tight on energy, this one. There's going to be another lap after this one. It's going to be pretty close. They all look as though they're running to kind of the same target. So
De Vries is catching.
Yeah. So De Vries might be the quickest. Now, I presume there would be team orders to not pass your teammate because he's going to secure second in the championship with this result.
True, yeah. But it's like a 10th on first sector, 2/10 on the second sector.
And the gap between them is 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, it's half a second quicker. It's half a second quicker.
Last lap of the race then. Vandoorne leading, De Vries second, Mercedes first and second. Buemi in third, Rast is in fourth, Bird is in fifth, de Grassi is in sixth place, and de Grassi and Verne, well, Verne was a second quicker on the last lap, but I don't think Verne will get up into that sixth position that would give him second place in the championship standings. 2% left for the front runners. They're all going to make it fairly comfortably. Verne's got a good amount of energy. I'm going to try and keep an eye on the gap between Verne and de Grassi. It's still 1.3 seconds, but what a performance this has been from the black Mercedes.
That's really, really impressive. They drove perfectly, perfect strategy, and wow, they proved me wrong. They have a good car.
Stoffel Vandoorne down into the penultimate corner. Took his second pole position of his Formula E career. We're going to have 6 wins from pole in 6 races in Berlin. The champions crowned already. Antonio Felix da Costa and Diaz Techeetah, the champions. But the final honours in the final race of 6 races in 9 days goes to Stoffel Vandoorne and Mercedes. It's a 1-2 at their home race. De Vries in second position. Third for Buemi.
P1, P2, mate.
Good job, Mercedes.
What a day. Oh my God. Stoffel, this is Ian. That
was Ian James speaking on the radio there to Stoffel Vandoorne as he goes on his slow down lap. And high fives and celebrations all around. Round 11 ends with Vandoorne's victory. 1.3 seconds ahead of his Mercedes-Benz EQ teammate Nick de Vries. Sebastian Buemi in third. Fourth for René Rast, fifth for Sam Bird, who also got the fastest lap of the race. I think Bird might get my driver of the day, you know, 14th to 5th, not to be sniffed at.
Stoffel Vandoorne, huge congratulations. Race win, second in the Drivers' Championship. What do you have to say to that?
We're second? Well, that's a bonus. Yeah, I mean, Jesus hell, incredible race. We had kind of the perfect race, you know, no threats from behind. Seb was always close, but we had him under control. And to finish the season with a 1-2 for Mercedes, I don't think we could have hoped for any better. And yeah, second in the championship, I guess that's a bonus.
So da Costa at the top of the standings, 158 points. Second place for Stoffel Vandoorne, picking up 25 points for the win and 3 points for pole position. Jean-Eric Verne finishing third. So Diaz Techeetah missing out on a 1-2 in the standings by just 1 point. And this is the team's championship. Diaz Techeetah taking the win. Nissan second, Mercedes third. BMW with a really, really tough time in Berlin. Despite that one win, they dropped from second down to fifth in the standings. Audi down in sixth place after a hard year. But Diaz Techeetah on the top of the team's championship. Now is the Moet moment and the celebrations. Nick de Vries elated with his first Formula E podium. Stoffel Vandoorne just happy to stand and watch. De Vries embraces Albert Lau, his race engineer. High fives with all of his crew. And a big hug from Ian James. great performance for his first victory in Formula E.
Championship trophy.
Season 6 of Formula E is won by Antonio Felix da Costa. Smashed it out the park.
After an epic 6-race finale, it's Auf Wiedersehen from us here in Berlin as we wrap up another thrilling Formula E season. And what a ride it's been.
We go green in Diriyah. Bird's into the lead of the race. What a win for Sam Bird. Alexander Sims victorious for BMW. What a race. What a drive.
Honestly, I didn't think this day would come. I'm really proud.
Rima Jafali just keeping it together. Oh, that's a big one for Oliver Rowland.
Look at this battle for the lead.
Yes, come on! Super happy that's my first victory in Formula E.
One of the most dominant races in the history of the championship. And Günther's into second place. Da Costa wins the race.
Well, I get the feeling that might be the last time we're racing for a while, so stay safe out there.
And we go rolling in Jakarta. Someone has gone flying there. I think it was Audi. Across the line to win the ABB Formula E Race to Own Challenge is Stoffel van Dorn.
Nine days, 6 races, 3 tracks, 1 champion.
I've never had this before where you stay away from a racetrack for 4 months. Just super happy to be back at the racing track.
Da Costa takes the first win in Berlin. Van Dorn's going to try and make it 3-1. What a move. Antonio Felix da Costa, the champion of Formula E.
Oh, I'm lost for words, man. So close to giving up sometimes, and thanks to the people around me, I never did.
Coming up after the break, we wind back to February and to the opening round of this year's High Tech Drift All-Star Series from Sydney Motorsport Park.